Today's topic in this video is 4-note per string scales using a first finger slide and then a 6-note grouping and then a 4th finger slide. So this is exercise 3 from my book of creative guitar exercises. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is I'll mention that there'll be a PDF available on my website. You can just click on the link below to get that. So what I'll do for the first section of the video, I'm just going to go through all 7 positions. But before I do that, I just want to point out that anybody who's familiar with the 3-note per string scales will notice that the 6 notes that are going to be in the middle of each of my slides are going to be the same as the patterns from the 3-note per string scales. So I'll just, if you look down at the bottom of the page of the PDF, you'll see 6 diagrams, and that's going to correspond to the 6 different patterns that will be in the middle here. So the first one, F, G, A, B, C, D. So you have a 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Then the next one's going to be G, A, B, C, D, E. So just kind of this stretch pattern. Now this stretch pattern is going to repeat. Okay, next one, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Then the next one, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Next one, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Now what happens here is the one starting from D and the one starting from G is the same. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. Okay, and then the last one is going to be E here, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, and then you're back to where you started from. So every single time I play the various patterns I'll be playing, there'll be one of those 6-note groupings in the middle. I forgot to mention that all these examples will be either key of G or key of E minor, the relative major and minor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and down the scale using a 4th finger, first finger and a 4th finger slide up, and then on the way down you'll notice the note at the top of the page. I'm going to slide down the scale on the first string, on the first finger. Okay, here goes. Here's the first line. So I'm not going to say the note names. I'm just going to play through this because you just look at the PDF here. So here's your slide, 4, 5, 7. Slide up to 9. And then, okay, so that's the 12. So now I'm going to come back down. I'll just explain to you how my strategy here. So 12, then 10, 8, 7. Okay, so you'll notice the S-Y-M at the top of the grouping there. That means it's a symmetrical pattern. So I've explained this before. What that means that the fingering is the same on adjacent strings. So here, 12. So that's going to be the change there. So I'm going to slide down with the first finger. Okay, then continuing, next a 6-note grouping. Sliding down to 2 there, and then back where we started from. So there we don't have to slide because of the open. Okay, the next one I'm calling F sharp locrian. So by calling it F sharp locrian, I'm just assuming that F sharp is the root, but it wouldn't have to be. Okay, so you have 2, the next group. So notice that has the S-Y-M's, that's a symmetrical pattern right there. Continuing. Sliding there. 5, 7. Sliding up to 11. Sliding up to F sharp or 14. Okay, backwards, sliding down. There's the first finger slide on the way down. Notice how the 6-note grouping is always the same. Okay, that's that locrian. Okay, now G Ionian, that's the third line on the sheet, the PDF. So starting from the 3. So notice how that pattern changes. Okay, then slide here that up to the root. Okay, backwards. Next one, aeolian. So A dorian. Kind of goes along with the minor 7th chord. So sliding up to 12. Okay, back down. Slide down with the first finger. Okay, next pattern, next 6-note grouping. Slide down to the A note and the last 6-note grouping. Okay, I'm calling that A dorian. Okay, the next one is going to be B phrygian, starting from the 7th fret. Starting up to 14, next pattern. Sliding down with 4. Sliding down with 1 there. That'd be like for like a B minor chord or like for a Phrygian band. Okay, next one, C Lydian. Okay, now once again you have these symmetrical patterns. And you'll notice how these are duplicating. So that's the whole beauty of this approach. It's a good way of organizing the fretboard. So you have C, then continue. I'm sorry, C, then here. Slide, next 6-note grouping. 6-note grouping. Backwards. Six notes. And 6 notes. Okay, then the last one on the page I'm calling D mixolydian. So I'm assuming here that the root is, some kind of D7th chord. And I'll point out that that's also Sym at the top. That means it's a symmetrical pattern. The same, meaning it's the same fingering on adjacent strings, or the same pattern. So 10. Last fret on this guitar, 22. So backwards. 6-note grouping, 6-note grouping. Okay, so I'll just talk briefly about the idea of hexatonic scales. So each one of these 6-note groupings could be considered a hexatonic pattern or a hexatonic scale. I don't want to get too much on a tangent. In the future, I plan on doing a more extensive look at the hexatonic scales, but I'll just look at this one briefly. So G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so that pattern right there is a hexatonic scale. There's a lot of different things going on there. I'll take a brief tangent here. So within those notes, you have a G triad, G, B, D, and an A minor triad, A, C, E. Then you also have a C major, A minor pentatonic, G, A, C, D, E, and you also have a G major, E minor pentatonic, G, A, B, D, E. right? And then the beauty of this particular way of organizing the fingerboard, then all the things that you do on each of this 2 strings is also repeated on the other 2 strings. Okay, so let's maybe look at some different chords next. I'll start with I'll just kind of randomly go through a couple different chords. I don't want to do every single chord in the key of G or E minor. So how about we'll take this G major 7th chord as our starting point, G, F sharp, B, D, and then we're going to combine that with the 3rd line of the G Ionian. And then we'll end up here. G major 7, G, D, F sharp, B. Okay, so let's go to A minor. So there's your A minor chord, A minor 7th at the 12th fret. Okay, so I'm just going to do the scale just by itself. So okay, let's maybe do some of the same patterns, but maybe start in a different place. So how about, let's go to this C major 7th chord right here. So realize on the guitar, whenever you're moving patterns, if you're on the bottom 4 strings, the pattern is exactly the same. So if you took, say, this pattern here, C, would be exactly the same pattern as here. C, right, so that's kind of a cool idea. So that'd technically be like a Lydian scale. Okay, let's maybe go to a couple open string ideas. So you have A minor 7th here. So A, and then you have B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. So this isn't on the PDF. And then to the A minor 7th chord, A, E, G, C, backwards. Okay, so just realize that I'm just doing a duplication here. So A, starting from here, A, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4 is exactly the same as this. A, 1, 2, 4. And then in this section of the video, I'm just kind of tying in this scale idea with some chords. I'll do something like that again. Okay, so let's do maybe one more. How about in this open, how about let's do like a D7, starting from the D, or like a D, like a little D9 chord. So you have D, and then you have this E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and then let's do maybe the D7 chord here, or D9 chord. So D. Okay, so realize that that's the same pattern that we were doing up here. Except you have the advantage of having the open string here. So let's maybe do a couple examples where I'm going through a cycle, a typical chord cycle. How about I'll do like E minor 7, E or E minor 7, and then A minor 7th. Let's just do those two. So I'll do E minor, A minor 7, E minor, A minor. I'm just going to stop for a second. So I made like what I call a quote-unquote mistake. So what I did there on the E minor chord, so what I did is I accidentally hit the C sharp instead of the C natural. So all that means is that instead of doing natural minor for the E minor, I did E Dorian. So it just gives it a little bit a different sound. So you can really use either there, but that's kind of out of the scope of this particular video. Okay, how about let's go an A minor 7 to like a D7 or a D9, like a 2-5. Okay, so you have A minor, then D7, A minor 7, D7. All right, so this kind of thing could be done with like a looper or something. I don't have my looper set up right now, but maybe in future videos I'll go ahead and have a loop ready that I can jam over. So I'm just going to kind of just go back and forth, A minor 7 to D7, and I might sometimes maybe throw in these higher chords. So A minor 7. D7, A minor 7, descending, and so on. Okay, so how about next, I'll just take this same concept and move it up to here. So here I was using open strings, E, A, D, which are nice to keep. You can keep those ringing sometimes. So how about let's go like A minor 7th to D9 to G major 7. So keep in mind what I said earlier, that whenever you're moving patterns on the guitar, as long as you're on the bottom 4 strings or on the top 2 strings, the patterns are the same within that string group. So let's go A minor 7, standard chord, form A, G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A. I'm going to do a D9 because I like the sound of it better than D7. D. And then the G major 7th, notice how it's going to be exactly the same pattern as this third one that I did in the beginning of the video. G. And I think up here, maybe we can use that form. Okay, so A minor 7. D9, and G major 7. A minor, D9, G. Okay, so that's just a couple ideas there. So let's talk a little bit about maybe a different kind of progression, and then maybe I'll just do a little bit of a explanation of a particular way that you can use these hexatonic patterns. So if you look at this pattern right here, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. So you have a G triad in here, and you also have a F sharp diminished, which will go like for a B7 chord. So the example I'll do here, I'll use like an E minor 7th chord, and over the E minor 7th chord, I'm going to play GBD, which is the 3rd, 5th, and 7th of the E minor 7th chord. So I'm thinking all of it in terms of this hexatonic scale. E minor 7th chord. Then I'm going to do a B7 chord. This would be like a 1 to 5 in the key of E minor. So I can do a B7 chord, or because of the flat at 9 there, I can also do some kind of diminished, B7. So E minor 7th, G major arpeggio, B7. So it's a really, really interesting idea. I'm just doing a little bit of a tangent here with this idea. So notice how in this example, I'm playing an E minor 7 to a B7 or a B7 flat 9 chord with the diminished on top. Notice how I wasn't playing the roots on either side. So this was an idea, I think it was a Joe Satriani video. He talked about to create tensions with your melody to not play the roots. So this idea that I'm presenting in this particular video is sort of a good way of doing that. So you have your roots on either side if you're in E minor, and then in the middle you have these 6-note groupings, which you could call a hexatonic scale, and then you can use this to create some tension. And then if you ever wanted to have something that's more resolved, right, that takes you back to the root, or so either way you can do that. And right now I'm not throwing in the 3rd there, because that kind of takes it in a little bit different direction. So I'm just trying to focus in on these hexatonic scales. Okay, so this time I'll go ahead and throw in the E note on the E minor 7. Let's maybe do one more idea here. So let's just maybe talk about how you could take this and go stepwise up with these. So let's say you were doing, say, an E minor progression. So what you could do here, see what I did there? So I'm just taking the patterns that I did on the lowest string, and I'm just climbing up, starting from E, which is the same as the lowest pattern, starting from F sharp, which is the same as this one, starting from G. I guess I can keep going a little bit further. So I'm just trying to think of this in terms of a context of, say like a 1-chord vamp, like an E minor. So to really hear that harmonically, you would really have to hear maybe like a chord progression or a jam track. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do for today. That should give you some different ideas of how to take these patterns I'm talking about, these 6-note patterns, but adding in whatever the root of your mode is here. So now I'm going to try something. I'm just going to do an ending improvisation the way I've been doing on most of these videos. I actually have nothing planned out. So that's always kind of fun to do, and I'm willing to do that on my channel, because I think a lot of times you discover things just by the spur of the moment. As Mick Goodrick says, follow your mistakes. That might be where some of your most creative stuff is. So let's see what happens here. Well, thanks for watching and listening, and until next time, Mick Dennis here.